One class, as promised, here is the rest of lesson 35B. I'll be making a video for 36 shortly. This should hold you off for another day though. What we're going to do here, we're in the factoring lesson. The lesson is called Factoring the Greatest Common Factor and Canceling. This is the second part of the lesson, which is the canceling part. So canceling is always fun. I always find it enjoyable. So let's look at our first problem here. This is example 1, which isn't really example 1 in the book because we're starting in the middle of a lesson. But example 1 for this part of the lesson. So what can you cancel? If I had something like this, 2 times 3 times 2, 2 and 3 are called factors. Factors are connected by multiplication. There are two things that you multiply together to get a given number. Factors can be canceled, so that 2 can cancel out with that 2 and we get 3. You learned this in 6th grade. So let's look at this problem. We have 4 and we have a minus 3 in parentheses. These are factors because they're multiplied together. So we can cross out the 4 with the 4 in the denominator and we're going to simply get a minus 3. We can cancel factors and you're going to see we're going to come to a different problem below. Okay, same thing. Here we have 3 times the quantity x minus 2. These two things are multiplied together, so they are each factors. So we can cancel out factors, and we would just get equals 3. So let's quickly go down to these problems right here. These two numbers are not called factors. They are called terms. You cannot cross out terms. So if I had something like this, 2 plus 3 over 3, this is very illegal what I'm going to do. You cannot cross out the 3's because we would get an answer of 2. When the correct answer would be 2 plus 3 over 3, your correct answer would be 5 over 3. So the first one is clearly very wrong. Very wrong. You cannot cross out terms, you can only cross out factors. So what are we going to do here? The tempting thing for you to do would be to cross out the 3's, and we'll talk about that later, how that could possibly work. But for this lesson and for the beginning of learning how to cancel, what we're going to do first is we're going to factor the numerator. So the first step is going to be to factor the numerator. So what do you see is common between the two terms? We have 3p plus a 3, and you can see that there's a 3 common in both terms, so a 3 can come out. The first term we're going to be left with a p, and the second one it looks like we're left with nothing, but we have to have something that we put in here so that when we multiply the 3 back in, we get what we started with. Also, when you're factoring out, it's really the same as dividing. So we're taking 3p divided by 3, and we get p. 3 divided by 3 that we're taking out is 1. And that is all over 3. Once we have two factors, we can cross out, and we get p plus 1. Let's try another one. What can we take out of 3x minus 9x squared? Well, a 3 is common in the number part. And we also have an x common. So I can take out a 3x. Now it looks like we took out the whole first term except we need the placeholder, and also we're dividing. So 3x divided by 3x is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. X squared divided by x, or we're taking 1x out, leaves an x. And this is all over 3x. Now we have two factors, and we have factors, we can cross them out. We can cancel them and we get 1 minus 3x. Alright, just make sure that you factor these. That's going to be the biggest problem. You're just going to start canceling like crazy people when you should be factoring out. Factor out the numerator and then cancel. Alright, we're getting more complicated in the example below. We're almost done. This one, what is common? Well, it looks like we have a 5 and an x. So this is very similar to the previous one. So we have 1 minus 5x. See, if we distribute this back through, 1 times 5x is 5x. 5x times 5x is 25x squared all over 5xy. The only thing that's different here is the 5x's cross out, but the y has to stay in the bottom. So your final answer is 1 minus 5x over y. And finally, this is practice problem B, just to remind you how to factor things. And the extra credit point for this one is Noah is at a football game right now, and he should be home soon. Okay, so we're looking for what's common. While I'm looking across there, I notice there's a 2 common in all of them, so 2 comes out. We have 2 A's here, 3 A's here, and 3 A's here. We can't take 3 A's out of 2 A's, so our least common factor, or greatest common factor, is 2. And then we have B, B squared, B squared, B to the 6. We can't take 6 out of B's that aren't there. So our greatest common factor is B squared. Now we write down what's left. Well, we're taking out a 2a squared b squared, and that's all of this guy, but we can't leave it blank, or else when we multiply it back through, we're not going to get him back. So we just put a 1 there. That way when we redistribute it, we get what we started with. And that's going to be plus, we took the 2 out, we took 2 of the a's out and 2 of the b's out, so all we have is an a. And here we took out 2, so no 2. We took out 2 of the a's, so we have an a left, and 2 of the b's, so we have 4 b's left. And that is your final answer. So that's it for lesson 35, part B. That was good timing because I just finished one video. Yeah.
Oh, so
what was the score?
that last one I sent.
Okay.
It didn't turn out too much at the end, but it was a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like it didn't turn out close at the end, but.
Yeah.